Okay, real estate investing basics, there's two C's. It's either capital gains or cash flow. Okay, two things. So capital gains, this is a basic overview. So capital gains, you can buy and flip. So you buy a property that's below market value and then you flip it. Assignments, you can buy it and then you know the market went up, so you assign it to somebody for a higher price. You basically sell your contract. So you buy a property for $1 million, suddenly the market goes up to 1.1, and then you sell the contract to another buyer before the completion. Completion is when you actually pay the seller. Before that completion, let's say you complete in 3 months, but the property went up $100,000 in that 3 months. Before the 3 months is up, you sell your contract to a buyer number 2, who pays you the $100,000 lift, the profit. And buy and flip is very common in a hot market. It's not very common in a normal market, so just be aware of that. We can go into more detail about like the pros and cons and that kind of stuff. And when I sit down with my clients and I go through a consultation, I look at their risk tolerance, and then I see which strategy works for them. There's the buy, rehab, and flip. Rehab means renovate the property, like a property's looks like a dump. So you buy it at definitely below market value because it looks like a dump. You renovate it, and then definitely at that time after you renovate, it appreciates and it's appraised at a higher value. Then you flip it. So obviously, again, try to buy below market value, and then renovation. There's certain areas that you renovate. You don't just renovate the entire house. Certain areas add more value than others. As you've watched on TV, HGTV tells you, renovate this, renovate that, and you can end up spending a lot more than what you'll get out of your return. So you can upgrade your flooring to marble if you want, but if you might spend 10 grand on, you might spend 20 grand on flooring, but it might increase your property by only 10 grand. Or you might want to, there's like a lot of useless renovations that you do, like, changing the light fixtures to chandeliers, or you want to like Swarovski crystals, or you want to like your backsplash is like silver plates or something like that. Or like there's a lot of people who think if they just make their place look spectacular and they renovate every single thing to like the highest quality, they think it'll pay back good returns. That's not true. The 3 key areas to renovate is the kitchen, the master bedroom, and the bathrooms. Those are the 3 areas. Once again, kitchen, master bedroom, and the bathrooms. Those are the 3 key areas, because that's usually what buyers look at. And they want that emotional. Buyers buy based on emotion. Investors buy based on numbers. So you're selling it to a buyer who will, you want to touch their emotional side. So that's why you touch the kitchen, where they usually get really impressed with, the master bedroom, where they will spend most of their time, and then the bathroom, which is very important to them as well. Then there's the buy, rehab, and refinance. So it's very simple. You buy a $1 million house, you take an $800,000 mortgage, 80%. You have a $200,000 down payment, and then you spend $100,000 to renovate the property. And then after renovations, the property is worth $1.5 million, and then you refinance for $1.2 million. I'll go into more details later on that. Pre-sales is another form of getting capital gains through real estate. You buy a property during their pre-sale period. Developers sell their properties, sell the floor plans basically to people, and people buy it, and then it'll complete in 2 years. Then they sell the contract before it completes. Or you can wait until it completes and then they flip it. Cash flow, talk about income. When Bai talks about cash flow, you're basically looking at income minus your expenses equals profit, your cash flow. There's also ways to increase rent. Short-term rentals, furnished, bundled services. I go into that a lot more in my book. I'll just explain this briefly. So if you're not getting the cash flow that you want, let's say the rent in that area is low compared to the price you have to pay. Well, you can always do Airbnb, or you can do short-term rentals, or you can furnish your apartment or your house and then charge it a premium. Bundled services, what I do is I encourage my clients, when you rent, try to include services. There's a reason why Shangri-La charges $500 a night and Best Western only charges $150 a night. Well, it's the same room, but different quality bed, and like they provide concierge services and all these things. If you just add services to your rental property, you can increase the rent. You can maybe like, let's say when you go to a Japanese restaurant and they have an all-you-can-eat. They know you're not, they charge you 20 bucks. They know you're not going to eat 20 bucks worth, majority-wise. They've done the numbers, and but they say to you all you can eat so that you have the perceived value that you're getting more. Just like when you buy, you want to buy the TSN sports channel from Shaw, the channel itself probably costs, if you buy the channel itself, it's like 20 bucks or 16 bucks. But then they'll throw in all these useless channels to make you have the perceived value that you're getting a lot more. So they'll throw in like 100 useless channels that nobody really watches, and then they'll say, oh, it's 25 bucks, you know? So it's the strategy is called bundling. So it's, you know, yeah, go ahead, Cindy.
I think a common surface, just like they have a dishwasher or not, like for laundry, like in-house laundry.
Yeah.
It's like one common one.
Yeah, so if you can like bundle your services, let's say like when you rent your property out and you just say, let's say your utilities cost you about 100 bucks a month. You charge the tenant $150 on top of the rent, and you say all utilities included. Well, you're making $50 a month every month, right? So, but then they have the perceived value. Wow, I don't have to set up my own bank, my own hydro account. I don't have to set up my own gas account, or like, you know, terracing gas and stuff. Sorry? TV. Yeah, exactly. So I also include, I encourage my clients to include internet, TV, utilities, you know, maybe offer services like free house cleaning once every quarter, something like that. It costs you only like 20 bucks, like, no, house cleaning maybe 50 bucks every quarter, but you're charging them an extra like 100 bucks a month. You know, when you do the numbers, it's profitable. Okay, so let's go through the buy and flip example. So I'm going to go through the buy and flip example. So this is a true example. This is exactly what it was worth back then. Dunbar House, 33 by 122 foot, 4,026 square foot lot in July of 2015 was worth about 2.1 to 2.2 million. 3 months later, no, 4 months later, same lot, worth 2.6 to 2.7 million. Straight flip. So you complete on the property in 2015. So you buy, let's say you buy in July, and then you put the completion date in August, so that's when you pay the seller, and then you sell it in November. That's a straight flip. You wait until you complete, and then you flip it. Assignment is you tie up the property, so you say, okay, I'll buy it, but you want a completion date in November. But before November, in October, some buyer wants to buy that contract from you, and they want to buy for 2.5 million. Why? Because they think they can flip it for, they think it'll go up, so they think it'll go up 2.6 or whatever. They buy from you for 2.5, you know, so it's win-win. That's called assignment.
Gary, did you
yes.
hear about that house in, like, I think it was on Shaughnessy or
yeah.
Point Grey? It was like this little, really, really little house.
Yeah.
Apparently, just that sold for like 4 million.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
I hear lots of crazy stories. Houses selling for over $1 million, like $1 million over asking, and you know.
It was like old, like really
yeah.
old, and like.
It's in Shaughnessy though, right?
Shaughnessy.
Totally different.
No, it was in Shaughnessy.
Shaughnessy? Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. Okay, so this 33-foot lot in Dunbar right now, probably worth $3 million. A 33-foot lot on Point Grey Road, at that time, like when I was working with my builder client at that time, it was like a 33-foot lot facing the water, maybe $5 million. Now it's worth like $12 million. So yeah, size is not, like I said, most expensive street in all of BC, different. Buy, rehab, and flip. pretty simple. Like example, East Vancouver house, you can buy for $1.3 million. You spend $200K on renovations. You make it look like a brand new house. List it for 1.7. You probably sell it in this market. Buy, rehab, and refinance example. So let's say a Surrey home, market value is $800,000. It wouldn't be a complete. It wouldn't be like a teardown. It would be pretty decent. Mortgage 80%, so it'd be $640,000. You put a down payment of 20%, $160,000. Your rehab cost would be $200,000. Let's say you do a really good job, and then after repairs, after your rehab, it's worth $1.3 million. And then what you do is you go to the bank and you ask them to appraise it and give you refinancing. And then all of a sudden they give you 80%, $1.04 million. So you take the mortgage that you get at the bank, use the new mortgage to pay off the old mortgage. So you take your 1.04 million minus the 640,000 from the other bank, and then equals 400,000. And then you have to minus the 200,000 that you spent to renovate it. Plus you have to minus the 160,000 for your down payment. And then you get $40,000 left, cash left over. Plus you still have $260,000 of equity into your house, right?
So you're up 300K.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's buy, rehab, and refinance. Pre-sales, assignment, and complete and flip. So I'm going to a little bit more detail into this. So you buy a $400,000 pre-sale. It's completing in 2 years. 20% down payment. Usually the developers want your down payment within a month, like 5% in the month, and then no, it's 5% within 10 days, and another 5% within a month, and then another 5% within 6 months, and another 5% after like a year. Something like that. So let's just say they want 20% down payment in the first year. So 80K. You sell for $450,000 right before completion, right before the 2-year mark. And then usually developers will charge you a 1% to 2% assignment fee on the original purchase price. Because back in the late 2006, 2007, people were just flipping like crazy. And developers like, I want to cut out of it. So they started charging the 1% to 2% assignment fee. So let's just say 2% assignment fee is $8,000. Obviously, when you assign it, you use a realtor, and the realtor commissions are about $15,000. So your profit would be $50,000 minus $8,000 minus $15,000 equals $27,000. But obviously, that's how much you make after 2 years. So $27,000 divided by 80. ROI stands for return on investment. The formula is income over investment. Your income is $27,000. Your investment was $80,000. So your profit is about your profit, 27,000 divided by 80,000 is about 34%. But because you're looking at ROI per year, so ROI 34% divided by 2 years is about 17% per year. That's pre-sale assignments with it before the 2-year mark. Post-completion means you wait until it completes and then you flip it. So you just add the property transfer tax, 2% minus $2,000 equals $6,000. Property transfer tax, you have to pay it. It's basically, the formula is 2% on the purchase price minus $2,000. So 2% of 400,000 is 8,000 minus $2,000 equals 6,000. So instead of 27 divided by 80, it's 21 divided by 80. So it's 26% or 13% a year. Next. Yeah, go ahead.
In the post-completion
Yes.
Option,
Yeah.
do you still have to pay the assignment fee to the developer in that situation?
You're right. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to pay the 1% to 2% assignment fee on that. So probably a little bit higher. Yeah, you're right. Okay, my favorite topic, cash flow analysis. When I started learning this, it just blew my mind. This is an actual example. Actual example, you can buy it today. Okay, $100,000 condo in Abbotsford, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. The mortgage would be 80%, $80,000. Down payment, $20,000. Your expenses, the mortgage payment based on a 2.59% interest is about $360 a month. Your strata fee, exactly, it is $200 a month. Property tax is about $100 a month. Actually, some of it is actually less, but be conservative, $100 a month. Your home insurance is about $15 a month. Your repairs and maintenance, so let's just put $50 aside in your bank account in case your tenant needs some repairs and maintenance. $50 a month. Let's say it's vacant. So you have to incorporate a vacancy allowance, but I looked up CMHC, vacancy allowance in Vancouver, Greater Vancouver, 0.8%. So 0.8% of the rent is 0.8% of $950 is your rent, is $7.60 a month. Property management allowance. So let's say you don't want to drive to Abbotsford to manage your tenant. Could be around 8% to 15% property management, but let's just say 10% of rent, $95 a month. So you want to calculate cash flow. You do net income minus your expenses equals your net income equals your income minus your expenses equals your net income. So your income is $950 minus your expenses, $360 plus $200 plus $100 plus $15 plus $50 plus $7.60 plus $95 equals $122.40 per month. Is that a good number or a bad number?
It's positive.
Yeah, positive. But let's say you got $122 cash flow, positive, but your down payment, let's say this was a $5 million home and your down payment was $1 million. $122 a month, is that good cash flow? Is that good return or not? So you have to calculate return on investment. What was your investment? So let's do $122 a month times 12 equals $1,468. $1,468 divided by, so that's your income. Return, ROI, your formula is income over investment. So your investment was $20,000. So $1,468 is your income divided by your investment equals 7.3% cash on cash return. So you put in $20,000 cash, you get $1,500 cash return. Your ROI is 7.3%. Okay? Pretty good, much better than the banks. So then we talk about cash on cash plus equity. Okay? What this means. So when your tenant, so how it works is this. I explained this to my clients, and this is in chapter 15 of my book. Your tenants, when they pay your mortgage of $360 a month, most people get a mortgage that's blended. Blended means a portion of it goes to principal and a portion of it goes to interest. In the beginning of your mortgage, usually it's about 50-50, approximately. Near the end of your mortgage, most of it is principal. So if 50% of the mortgage goes towards principal, then that should be added towards your return on investment. You don't get it in cash per se, but you get it in terms of equity. Imagine imagine your mortgage was 25 years, all interest only. So no matter what, the tenant never paid down your mortgage, never just paid the interest. Then you don't own the property, right? But if it goes to blended principal and income, after 25 years, you own the property. So here's how you calculate it. I actually have a spreadsheet that goes into a lot more accuracy into this, but it's about 50%. So let's say 50% of mortgage payment goes towards the principal, which is the mortgage payment is $360 here. So $180 goes towards the principal. So remember our income was $122. Remember, $122 a month, $122 a month. Then we add the $180 of equity. And then that's per month, right? So how many per year? How much money is that per year? $3,628 a year divided by your down payment of $20,000. All of a sudden, it's 18.1% return. So, whoops, better than your 7.3%. 18.1%. So that's if your property never goes up in value. Let's say it stays the same. But here, cash on cash plus equity plus appreciation. So let's say it goes up 3% a year, which is approximately inflation. Okay? So let's say it goes up asset appreciation of 3%. In this market, condos go up like 10 to 15%, houses 25 to 30. But in a normal market, you're looking at condos maybe 5 to 10% in good areas, maybe like just 5% or 3 to 5% in bad areas. But let's just say 3%, just to be conservative. 3% on your $100,000 property is $3,000 a year. So you take your 3,628, whoops, 3,628, you add your $3,000 equals $6,628. Your ROI formula, income over investment, 6,600 divided by 20,000 equals a 33.1% ROI return. Questions about that? So this is the more detailed version of how to calculate your cash on cash plus equity, cash on cash plus equity plus appreciation. Thanks guys for watching my video. Please subscribe and share with your friends. Email me if you have any more questions. Thank you.